The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 11th day of January, 2022. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, and Lindos. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sherry Vanderpool, and Leanna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sherry, it's Tuesday. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
This is good. You sound much better.
Do I? I still think I'm a little congested, but otherwise, yeah, I'm feeling better. Tested negative yesterday, so that's exciting.
Good.
Yeah. So
I just asked Sherry and Leanna, what does active mean? And I think active COVID cases. And the reason I asked is because I didn't know if it's like a certain amount of days, it usually lasts 14 days. After 14 days, you no longer have it, or you actually have to test out. So that's good information, and I'm happy to hear that you tested negative, and wish you speedy healing and recovery.
oh, thank you, Jamal. I like
Well, it's
when
no
things
fun,
are recorded like this.
it's no fun picking on someone who's done. So I need you back up, and yeah, you know how it goes. No, I will say, honestly, I want to say this because I think, we have a responsibility to be very direct and honest with the audience, especially about feelings and so on. And, I think grief is such a process, and you really don't understand it, until you go through it. And, the first day it hits hard, you're crying, you're lost for words. And then you're at the stage where, okay, it's okay. And then it hits you again when you go into the newspaper and see the obituary section. And it's this realization wow, that's my mother, But honestly, it's incredible the amount of people that keep reaching out. And, I always say, words don't mean as much as actions, but I can tell you words do mean stuff. I understand how people say, words mean a lot. So I can't thank the people who have taken the time to reach out to my sister, myself, and my family enough for the kind words and energy and the energy. We're all about energy. I don't, want to necessarily mourn my mom. I want to celebrate her, and I think that's how she wanted things to be. So thanks again to everyone. I'll thank you every day as long as you're sending love, because if you're, taking it out of your day and time to send love, it's only right that I send it back to you. So appreciate the good energy and vibes. And good morning, everyone. Thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today, as Catherine Duffy of ABIR and Craig Simmons of Bermuda College are stopping by to discuss a very important partnership about creating opportunities for Bermudians. So this should be good. The daily play is a remember when. So a little history for Sherry today. I think she may be okay, but I would love the audience to participate. No. I think you got this. I've got faith in you, Sister Sherry. I've got faith in you.
Oh, thank you, Jamal.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, folks, the giveaway. So we've given you 4 letters so far, right? 4 letters on the first 3 episodes of the year. We've done 3. This is the 4th episode. This is the 4th episode. Okay, so here's how the game works. You will have to tune in every day to hear what letter is being given at a different time each day. Use each letter to determine the words that make up the phrase. Once you believe you've guessed correctly, you go to our website, thedailyhour.com, and fill out the contact us form with your name, email, and your answer where it says message. Please note, you must be a subscriber on our website to be eligible to win the $500 prize. A question that keeps coming up is, can you enter more than once? If you believe you have the answer multiple times, more than once, go ahead, feel free. It's it's not gambling at a casino like that. You every time you play you have to pay. No, this is free
Right.
will. If you believe you have the answer, and one of the other things people are asking is, are you going to tell us the letters of the previous days? No, that would defeat the purpose. That would defeat the purpose. You have
What?
to go back and watch it. You have to go back and see. So anyway, folks, before we have the great people from ABIR and Bermuda College on, we have a conversation that we need to have with you, a community conversation this morning. Sherry,
Yes, Jamal.
I was reading the Royal Gazette yesterday, and I came
Mm-hmm.
across an article, and it was titled, folks, are you ready? It was titled, let me just make sure I've got it up. Hold on 2 seconds. It was titled, Lotteries Could Help Boost Charity, Sport, and Education, BGC Chief Executive says. So let me just go
Mm-hmm.
over the first couple. Gambling watchdogs are in talks with the government about whether to allow increased use of lotteries. Gene Major, the chief executive of the Bermuda Casino Gaming Commission, said the organization had been approached by several charities and groups who wanted to see a change in the law. Mr. Major added that at present, only a very small number of lotteries held on the island, and the discussions with the government centered on whether to alter the 1944 Lotteries Act to loosen restrictions. He said allowing charities and other, organizations to run their own lotteries could benefit areas such as sport. Now, this could benefit areas like education, athletics, and the arts. This is 100% in the hands of the government. The commission does not have a mandate. Now, as far as the national lottery, Mr. Major said
Mm-hmm.
that the watchdog had not discussed the national lottery with the government. Well, Ernest Peets, the Minister of Youth, Sport, and Culture, said in November that the government was considering the idea of a national lottery. He said the cash could be used to boost the government's national sports strategy. Now, this is from the Royal Gazette yesterday. So here's the question for the audience today. Here's your question. Do you believe a national lottery is in Bermuda's best interest? Do you believe a national lottery is in Bermuda's best interest?
Says one who plays scratch-offs and plays in the Georgia lottery all the time, and who also took part in the New Jersey one and won a little bit of money.
Okay, lucky fingers.
Lucky scratcher. I don't know, Jamal. It's hard for the person that I think does the gambling to see where the money goes after the fact and what it's used for in that sense. Is it permitted to, of course, boost the economy and boost things? Yes, that's what it's permitted to do if you're, especially if, you like to gamble and want to win some money. Bermuda's so small in that sense. And so it's hard for me to think of what it can do. I guess on the opposite side, it probably can do very well, depending on whose hands it's in to facilitate all of this and what that's going to look like. I need to know what the breakdown is and where this and from what you said, it's only going to sport.
No, well, the overall, I think, head was about charity, but the minister said to promote their sports strategy, like create more Florida Duffers and so on.
Yeah.
Well,
And I think again for me is if the money goes there.
What are your thoughts, audience? Do you believe a national lottery is in Bermuda's best interest? I saw some concern and comments about it, and I think the concerns are legit. Now, to Shara's point, I'm not a gambler per se, I might buy a scratch off here and there. I do have a winning streak with scratch offs. I buy $5, I usually win 15. So I'm good at that. I'm not buying scratch offs to try to become rich or be a millionaire. I understand how it works. But I think some of the concerns from some people is that national lotteries and gaming and gambling and casinos usually hurt the lower or poor more than anything. Like it's all good looking at the bigger picture or the picture you want to portray as the positive picture, like it's gonna increase revenue for this or that. But are we considering what can happen to those who are already maybe suffering in our economic conditions? And so I take those concerns, I hear those concerns, and we have to ask ourselves, do we have a plan for that? Is there an education component with this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, no, I agree with you in the sense of what is
Mhm.
the education component. Then, I think we already have Gamblers Anonymous in Bermuda, I think, because there is some gambling that does go on in Bermuda in regards to that. But no, you're absolutely right. And to your point, usually persons in dire situations, it's permitted to like, okay, if I just scratch off this, I'm going to win that $10,000 or that $10 million and so forth. And so then it just starts the whole domino effect of
Correct.
what it, yeah.
Correct. And the idea, like for some people, is literally just, oh, I'm gonna spare $5 right here. Let me go buy a scratch off of 20. Sam Cat Play says, good grief, another way to squander our money because government can't figure out how to make money properly, or rather listen to those suggestions that have been given to them to make money. Shaking my head. And I will say that gaming and casino does seem last resort. I definitely want to ask Mr. Craig Simmons this question as well. And it's just perfect that this was in the paper yesterday and we're discussing it today, because I'm sure he has an opinion on something like this that would definitely be valid. Traveling Charlie says, I have mixed feelings. Will the winnings be taxed by government? This is an interesting question, Nachiko Trot. Why I say it's interesting is, if you ever, like, the Powerball had it was up to like 500 million, 600 million last week, and two people won in two different states. Well, depending on what state you win the Powerball in, even city sometimes, depends on how much money you actually win of the earnings. Like if you live, let's say, New Jersey versus Florida, you're gonna lose a lot more. Obviously, it don't matter. You're still got millions more than you had. But
Right.
for a place as small as Bermuda, that's a good question. Like, how many of this will go to taxes? I always say when it comes to government, gaming and casinos and lotteries, this is one thing I was always taught: the house always wins.
And the house being the government. And I can speak to this, Jamal. In Georgia, at least, if you've been, so one time I won $2,500.
Oh
The
wow.
tax wasn't taken from that, but I'm gonna have to report it.
Mhm,
So anything I think over $600, you have to report on your
mhm,
taxes, which means that it's taken in consideration. And Uncle Sam's still going to get some money. When you apparently make those big winnings, you can either have a choice. It be taken right off the top at the very beginning, or
mhm,
it can be taken off in increments or something like that. So, or
mhm.
installments or whatnot. So yeah, the government is still going to get
Oh, they'll
something.
get theirs. Oh, they will get theirs, folks. What are your thoughts? Do you believe a national lottery is in Bermuda's best interest? According to an article in the Royal Gazette yesterday, we had the chief executive for the Bermuda Gaming Commission discussing the 1944 Act, interested in finding ways to help charities, and then the minister, according to the Royal Gazette, the minister of youth sport. Dr. Ernest Peets had mentioned last November about considering a national lottery to help sport. I just feel like there's better ways. There are definitely better ways to generate revenue. And I want to go back to Sam Cat Place's comment. For me, I think national lottery should be the last resort, as if, okay, how else you want to tell us that you've run out of ideas to generate revenue
Yeah.
in the economy? I don't have actual data or stats in front of me, but I know the arguments are always made when it comes to casinos, gaming, when it comes to lotteries, that it always impacts the people on the bottom more than anyone else. Shikarina for you, Sherry.
Okay. Seems like Bermuda might be too small to manage a lottery. The income could help sports/education, but wouldn't some of it also be used to support organizations for gambling addicts? Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
think when they started the gaming commission and considering casinos, that was actually discussed, if I'm not mistaken.
And let me add, at least out here in the United States, that when you do win big, they do, of course, a background check and run your social and all of that. If you have outstanding debts towards the government, also, i.e., child support, all of that gets taken first before you even see the rest of the money. So it just so
You know what's interesting about that, Sherry? It is I remember a guy in New Jersey won millions, like let's say 200, 300 million one time, but he couldn't claim the money because he had outstanding debt, right? So I'm
yeah.
like, but wouldn't you just give him the money and subtract the money that he owes in debt? No, he had to pay the debt first, which I found so strange. So
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, so how is he going to do that? Is he going to get a loan from a bank, pay the debt, and then just use the winnings from his money to pay that? It was just so strange to me. But that's one of millions of things in the United States that are strange to me. I mean, fact that you can't get a job if you have bad credit. Well, wouldn't being employed help you be a step in trying to reduce that bad credit? Just things that don't make sense. Question of the morning, folks. Do you believe that a national lottery is in the best interest of Bermuda? I want to go back, Sherry. What are your thoughts? Because when you look at the Powerball and Mega Millions, right? Those things go months and months
Yeah.
and months without people winning. With a population as small as Bermuda's, like how does it work where you can eventually get a winner?
I don't know. My dad always said a dollar in a dream.
Like,
But how can you? And it just, yeah, I don't know how they would do it in regards to the numbers and the amount.
mhm,
And like how I don't know. I don't
mhm,
know.
mhm.
And would you ever be able to if you are doing it? I don't know. But it could be somebody's luck. I'll try it, Jamal.
Indeed. Well, Peter Smith says research indicates that lower income people buy lottery tickets, not middle income or high income people. Then one person wins big, and all the low income people who've bought tickets are poor. And that's all of my readings. That's what my readings have shown me. Peter Smith.
I was to say poor, or it just feeds the idea that I can too do it. You know what I
Mhm,
mean? This person was in the same position as me. And I
mhm,
guess that still answers to his question. It does make them poor because they want to buy more tickets because
mhm.
this person, just like me, just want it. I can do it too.
Yeah, I think Peter Smith's solution. He says, just increase taxes on high income / wealthy people and companies. I used to think that was the way, but unfortunately, these companies and people just leave jurisdictions and go to the one that's got less taxes, and they're able to get away with stuff. Bermuda apparently benefited from that for years, according to some. You see what's happening with companies moving to Texas from California and to Florida from New York. So I get it. I get
Mhm.
it. Shikarina for you, Sharon.
I don't know how it is in Florida or Georgia, but in North Carolina, we have Powerball, etc., and people still complain about the education system and how poorly funded it is. And I guess it depends on what district you're in too.
Well, to her point, I think the point she's making is the overall question, and what was said in the article is a national lottery isn't necessarily the solution to our economic and academic problems.
Hmm.
The US, they have state lotteries, they have national lotteries. And her point is the education system is probably
Exactly.
still not benefiting. But to Shara's point, based on your area zip code, sorry, it may
Hmm.
be right. Let's be honest, certain zip codes get better funding for education than others, right?
Do they
Um,
ever?
Traveling Trotty says we cannot tax our way out of this. And look, to his credit, Eugene Johnson used to always say that. He used to always say, we cannot tax our way out of the problem or situation that we're in. Renee Simmons says we would have to consider the structure of the lottery first, whether it consists of taxes being or penalties involved or not. Yes, there will possibly be more lower income involved. And that's the concern I think a lot of people have. I think a lot of people's concern is that it seems like it's going to be, lotteries have traditionally focused on this idea of get rich quick. Like I can get rich if I buy this. It doesn't take skill, effort, nothing. It's a luck of the draw, apparently. So
Exactly.
we don't want our community to be worse off by something that we're told is supposed to help them. Make sense?
Yeah.
I don't have the ideas, folks. Honestly, I don't. That's why we have these conversations, so that we can all come up with something. Lee, Lee, she's very intelligent. Maybe she's got the answers.
I think she does.
Yeah, let's bring Leanna into the conversation. Good morning, Lee. How are you?
Good morning. I love how the both of you have this much faith in me when it comes to ways in which we could combat this.
Especially when you have the
I
glasses.
appreciate the faith.
Yeah, we believe in you. But I mean, Lee, obviously, you're in Bermuda, but when you travel, would you buy a lottery or a Mega Million or scratch off? Like, are you into it?
No, I personally do not, but I do know of friends that went to school in the US. I went to school personally in the UK, but I never went, and I'm not a gambler. Let's just put that out there. I'm not. I don't like the idea of losing money. It hurts my heart. Like willingly giving my money away to just lose it. Like that's not for me. However, I do know people who like the idea of trying to win the big lotteries and stuff like that. So, I would like to learn more about how it can assist. I mean, what happened, Sherry?
Like I
I want to learn more. I want to learn more about this system because I know there are, and we've heard it in the audience that, there are gambling addictions that could arise from certain things like this, and we're already in stressing positions as it is. So I would like to just have more information in regards to how this could trickle down the pipeline and assist our charities as it's stated it can.
Yeah, I mean, private enterprise is the way out of that. But let's wrap it up with this. Sam Cat Play says pretty much sums it up, in my opinion. We can't gamble our way out of our issues either. So
probably what got us in trouble in the first place. But anyway.
Yeah. With major decisions. Lee, over to you, sister.
Thanks, Jamal and Sherry, and good morning to all of those of you who are tuned in with us today. I hope you all are having a great start to your Tuesday. I'm Liana Lambert, and it's time for the Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Well, the island has officially hit its second highest infection numbers since the pandemic hit 2 years ago. Health officials revealed last night that there are more than 1,600 active cases in Bermuda, with 6 people now in hospital. However, none are in the intensive care unit. 689 new positive cases were recorded in the latest test results. Now, despite the rise in active cases, Premier David Burt said quarantine restrictions could be relaxed as other countries had reduced their requirements in an effort to move beyond the pandemic. However, there will be no end to curfew. In other news, travelers will have to endure and continue to endure the travel authorization form process when flying in and out of the island until at least April of next year. Now, that was coming from Premier David Burt during an interview with Burn News yesterday afternoon. However, he said that the government is aware people have had concerns about it, and discussions are being held about simplifying the process as they now look to see how they can reduce the restrictions at the border and adopt the position of living with the coronavirus. In other news, students and teachers will undergo an at-home pilot program of the coronavirus antigen testing as government seeks to combat the backlog of PCR testing. Now, the return to school has and continues to face challenges in the wake of the surge of Omicron cases, which has overwhelmed government's COVID-19 testing labs. The Department of Education said that they will commence the antigen testing in public schools this week in substitution for the saliva screening program to ensure school environments stay safe. And foodies around the island are in for a treat from their favorite eateries as the Bermuda Tourism Authority reveals Restaurant Week will kick off this Thursday. The 4-week culinary celebration, now in its 11th year, is set to take place from January 13th through February 11th and boasts to surely be a palate pleaser. As organizers say, the Winter Food Festival will feature over 25 culinary venues, 3 new restaurant partners, and a signature Restaurant Weeks experience. Now, diners can choose from any array of lunch or dinner menus offering multiple course meals ranging from $22 to $52 per person throughout the month-long period, which seeks to boost restaurant traffic, promote Bermuda's food culture, and celebrate restaurant rock stars. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 67 and a low near 57 degrees. We'll see some early cloud cover and showers this morning, then a brighter afternoon as the day progresses. As a nearby cold front completes its exit to the east, shower activity wanes, cloud cover begins to break up, and moderate to strong northeasterly winds ease. Now, temperatures plummet through midweek in the wake of the front as high pressure ushers in drier spells under variably cloudy skies. That's all for our daily hour news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. But before we go, here's a little helpful tip from your favorite community pharmacist. Fair warning, too much sitting and unhealthy levels of sleeping can increase your chances of an early death. Now get up and move, get outside and get some fresh air. We don't mean to alarm you. You can trust your favorite People's Pharmacist to help you figure out what small changes will make a big difference in your life. Now let's head back to Jamal and Sherry in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
You know, I have a stand-up desk for that, so yeah, I try to stand up as much as possible. Sherry, you got some days of the year for us, right? What you got for us? What you got for us? Give it to us. Give it to us. Give it to us.
Give it to you. Well, today is National Human Trafficking Day. And so it is to call awareness to human trafficking and to be aware that this is something that happens all around the world and happens very often, and that it can affect people of any race and background. And this is the day that we call to fight human trafficking wherever it exists.
You know, when I worked in tourism, I was actually told, and I don't know if this is fact based on anything I've read, but I was told that number one state for human trafficking was the most surprising thing to me. And any of you guess what I was told it was?
Atlanta.
How did
I
you
know
guess?
what it is.
Okay, I have a little.
How does she know this stuff? Or, like, hold up, can you let people finish questions before you answer?
Sorry.
No, seriously, you're really like just good at this stuff.
No, okay, so just a little backstory. I have 2 cousins who actually are in Atlanta from Bermuda. They live overseas, and they actually have been combating and fighting this fight against human trafficking over in that area. They actually managed to help push through certain legislation that will help combat those issues. So that's the only reason why I know that.
No, honestly, the knowledge is important, and I didn't think either. Because for me, I was shocked. I would have thought it was a place on like a border, like Texas or Florida per se. I would have where people are coming by water, but I was shocked. But again, it makes sense because Hartsfield Atlanta Airport is the busiest in the world apparently, so it makes sense. So thank you for that information. National Human Trafficking Day, folks. I know there's ways that and different courses that you can learn how to pick out like what human trafficking looks like, what it is, to get a better understanding. So it's a very important day in that respect. Lee, thank you so much for the news break, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye, Lee.
All right. we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Miss Catherine Duffy and Craig Simmons. Very important conversation, and I encourage fellow Bermudians to share these kind of conversations because we keep hearing about businesses closing, people being out of work. These are opportunities to add to our skill set so that we are not impacted by unemployment. All right, stick with us. We'll be right back after this.
Are you a small business or organization looking for new ways to reach a greater audience? Well, here's your chance to get your ad on BTG Radio, Good Day Bermuda, and Bermuda's daily talk show, The Daily Hour. Send an email to contact@bermudacommunications.com.
Our old friends Arrowhead Mills was founded in the 1960s in the famous Texas Panhandle with the ambition to promote the production and use of pesticide-free grain, cereals, and pulses. The mission was to bring the most wholesome food attainable to the mainstream markets. Since then, Arrowhead Mills has increased its range of products, most of which are certified organic. You can be sure that Arrowhead Mills know a thing or two about good eats. This month, we're featuring Arrowhead Mills green and red organic lentils. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendytown Field, number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. We'll give the letter after this conversation, today's letter. We do have quite a few guesses, and I will say none of them are right from everyone who's sending guesses in already. None of you are right. But without further ado, let's bring in our guest for the day, Catherine Duffy from ABIR and Mr. Craig Simmons from Bermuda College. Both of you, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you. So let's get right into it. First off, ABIR, we've had the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Reinsurers on previously, but for those who don't know, just give them a bit of background of what the organization is and what it does.
ABIR is the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Reinsurers. It started in about 1993 when it was decided that Bermuda needed a lobbying arm for all of the insurers and reinsurers that are here to represent them on an international stage. So ABIR is almost like you can call it a lobbyist for Bermuda. Like when we have issues about what's happening with tax or people are attacking our jurisdiction, calling us a tax haven, ABIR actually will use all of its contacts and resources to talk about the benefits that Bermuda actually brings to the world stage. And it was really the idea came about after Hurricane Andrew, where it was shown just how much Bermuda's reinsurers did to prop up the United States after having that loss. So, it's a great organization, and it definitely represents Bermuda on the world stage.
And thank you for that and good information. See, I didn't know that part of especially the hurricane impact and how it came together, but definitely something that's benefiting Bermuda and Bermudians as the years have gone by. How does the Bermuda College partnership with St. John's University and the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Reinsurers work and benefit for Bermuda and Bermudians?
Well, it started last year. It was the decision was that sometimes Bermudians and even people outside of Bermuda who don't really understand what we provide to the world stage. So it was decided to partner with the Bermuda College and St. John's to educate people about the benefits of insurance to Bermudians and to the world. So, and it actually went over so well last year that it was decided that we would do it again this year. It's a 14-week course, and I like it. It kicks off with the chair of ABIR, as well as the Minister of Finance. And then I talk about the evolution of the Bermuda insurance industry. I wrote the book about the history of international insurance in Bermuda, and and that book is 18 years old and is still very relevant today because the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Mhm.
So this partnership is meant to help people to understand what Bermuda does and to educate about the industry that we have here, because so many young people feel that they don't know what it is. Just like you said, Jamal, like you had no idea about what ABIR provides to the industry. This is what this partnership is meant to do, to take away some of that mystique about what our industry actually provides.
Yeah, I think from an industry's perspective, I didn't realize how huge or how important it was until September 11th. That
Mm.
was the one that opened my
Mhm.
eyes and understanding to the impact that the insurance and reinsurance industry has globally. Mr. Simmons, I know last year you were a lecturer. Are you a lecturer this year as well in this program?
Yes, I am. I'm like facilitator of the
Okay,
course.
facilitated. So, what are you hoping students gain from this 14-week course?
Perspective. I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but this
I
is
love
Kathy
it.
Duffy's book.
I
The
love it.
tune, you can see how thick it is. And essentially, it will give Bermudians perspective on what international business is, and more specifically, what international insurance in Bermuda is, what it looks like, um, both historically and from a contemporary point of view. We'll be taking people on a guided tour through the innards of reinsurance in Bermuda, looking at things like life insurance. We've got Chantel Cardenas. She's the chief executive officer of Hanover Re. She'll be joining us, I think, in week 4. You've got Dan Malloy from Third Point. I mean, this is a new company. Last year, they were thinking about merging, and now the merger has been complete. He'll be back. In any given week, you'll be led by experts in the field, people from the C-suite, like Kathy Duffy is the head of AIG, American International Group in Bermuda. You know, she's the big cheese, and she'll be leading the second session. I should add that the last year, after Kathy Duffy's lecture, I have students that are doing the course for credit are they have to do weekly reflections. If you're doing the course for free, you don't have to do this kind of thing. But here's something that a young man said about Kathy Duffy's presentation. Catherine Duffy is a woman whose accomplishments and accolades are only topped by, in my eyes, her humility and her ability to encourage and teach. She provided a concise breakdown of not just the insurance industry, but the international business as a whole on the island. Yeah, I mean, this woman that we've got here today, she's a gem. And she's able to communicate in uncanny ways. It's a shame that we had her at number 2 because, you know, you want to save the best for last.
Well, I want to say honestly, I have this thing where I'm trying to read a book a month, and I think I would love to just read the book for my own understanding. So I'm gonna go. Is it available on Amazon?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay. Where can I
It- you can't. I'm actually, this book, and I just want to go back to Craig. that's a lot of pressure, Craig, for the next one. But anyway, I just have to, my whole philosophy is you don't take yourself too seriously. We're all learning at the same time. But thank you, Craig, for that platform. Jamal, that book I was asked to write it in when I took a sabbatical to take care of my children, right? And I never thought that the book would have the legs that it now has. Um, and it seems that it's become more relevant than it was back then. So unfortunately, a lot of the people that were involved with the publishing of the book have died
Mm,
or they've gone. So I'm trying to figure a way to have it reprinted. Some people have suggested an ebook, which would be great. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm trying to do the legwork to
mhm,
find the template
mhm,
actually that was done for the book because I earn nothing from the book.
mm,
Um, so I'm just trying to figure it all out. And if I get to figure that out, I will let people know how we can
mhm,
republish that book because it 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 is a tomb.
mhm,
It weighs 5 pounds, by the
mhm,
way. Um, and it's a reference book. So, Jamal, it's not a book I would recommend you read from cover to cover, although I've had people who've told me that they have.
mhm.
It's a book that you go in and out of if you're trying to find out what's happened
Okay.
over the decades. And I try to weave in what was happening in Bermuda as well
Mhm,
at the time because everything happens in context. And that's one of the things I like to tell the students when I talk about the history of the international insurance industry.
mhm,
Nothing happens in isolation.
mhm.
Everything is interdependent,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, the book
Interesting.
has some great stories in it. Absolutely. I mean, the story behind how Sir John Swan got us the tax exemption that we
Mm,
enjoy today. I mean, when you read that,
mm,
it should bring tears
Wow.
to your eyes to know what I mean. When you meet Sir John after reading that, you want to go down and kiss his feet. What this man did for Bermuda
uh-huh.
on his own,
Mhm,
secretly.
Yeah.
You think, wow, man, that
Right.
that that man is, and that's just one
mm,
one story of
mhm.
One
many in
story.
this book.
Well, Jamal may still need to read it then.
Yeah, you do.
But
You
when
really need to read it
but
cover to cover.
Wow.
but
Okay.
when you talk about this course and this partnership, and you talk about students, I would consider myself a senior student, and I don't need Jamal to co-sign on that. But who is the ideal candidate to take this course, or is there one?
There
None.
isn't one. There isn't one. John and Janet Q. Public are great folks, but then there are people like Kathy Duffy who work at AIG who might want to know what's happening over at Sirius Point, or executives, people who are CEOs and CFOs in a particular firm don't know what's happening next door. And so this course will give them a chance to see what's going on. For high school students, it's a great way to be introduced to the industry. To a homemaker like myself, it's a great way to find out what's going on. This thing called international business, or the subset of it, international insurance. What exactly is it? What do these people do, and how do they do it? It's for everyone.
Mm.
There are no prerequisites for the course if you're doing it for
Awesome.
free. Oh, I forgot to mention the F word, and I don't want to say this too loud. The course is free. Go to www.college.bm. That's the college's website. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. On the left-hand side is a good-looking young man. It looks like he's contemplating the grand unified theory, putting together, special relativity and quantum mechanics, but that's beside the point. Click onto the link, follow it, and you'll be registered in a matter of seconds. If you don't want to do that, send an email directly to me. My email CFS at college.bm. The CFS are my initials. My name is Craig Fubler Simmons. CFS at college.bm, and we'll get you signed up. Lickety split.
Awesome. You were awesome. Well, you're just jumping right over the rest of what I have to ask you, Mr.
Oh, I'm
Simmons.
sorry. Well, I do have a
But
point
that's
to
great
make.
information.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
No,
No, I get it, and
You
I'm
get it?
gonna throw someone on the bus, Sean, to let's get it together.
I threw him under the bus.
Okay, but in
He made
addition
promises.
to
He hasn't delivered.
Sean,
Jamal,
let's do it.
okay. If a person isn't a
Kathy?
student, and you kind of touched on that at the Bermuda College, but wanted to complete the course for college credit, can they? Or what is the stipulations around that?
So if you're going to do the course for credit, you've got to jump through all the hoops and stuff. So you've got to go to the college, sign up if you're not already a student, pay the money. I think it's like $465 plus incidentals, and this way you are registered in the course, and you can transfer those credits to, I would think, just about any institution on the planet. If you're doing the course for credit, you will have to do weekly reflections. So you got to turn up every Monday, starting January the 17th at 6. The class will run from 6 p.m. till about 8:30 p.m. And if you're doing it for credit, I need to see your weekly reflections. And of course, there'll be 14 of them, and there will be an exam at the end of it. But you will be able to transfer that course to just about any jurisdiction. I've got folks in Canada signed up for the course, getting the course for credit. Folks in Europe doing the same things. And the reason why institutions will accept the course for credit, look at the quality of the people who are in running the course. You've got Catherine Duffy, the head of AIG in Bermuda. She's going to be followed by Dan Malloy, the CEO of another company, followed by another CEO, followed by another CEO, all the way through 14 weeks of it. And so these overseas institutions look at this and think, holy smokes, we can't produce a product like that. And they can. Where else in the world are you going to get this kind of quality instruction?
I was going to say, I must admit, Mr. Simmons, when looking at that, you do have an arsenal lineup, and a lot of young Bermudian talent. I saw for the list of lecturers. What opportunities can people who take this course expect after their completion? I know you touched on some of it, but what else can we expect from the course?
Well, I can give you an example of one of my students that did the course last year. He's now working at ABIR. He went there apparently just for a couple of months, and a couple of months had passed, and he's still there a year later. At least one person is, in fact, sitting in St. John's University in New York City as we speak. So, and there are others who, because, companies will call me up and say, hey, we've got internships happening. Can you recommend someone? Of course, I'm going to recommend someone that did the course. So that's not to say if you do the course, you're going to get a job in international business or in reinsurance. But, folks in the industry, you're going to be interacting with these folks. These CEOs are willing to give you their emails, their contacts. In fact, in one of the sessions, we're having people from St. John's University come down and talk about using LinkedIn as a means of securing work in international business, in financial services in general. People are just so forthcoming, so giving. They're like Kathy Duffy. They want to expand the talent pipeline into international reinsurance in Bermuda. Talent is in short supply. And these folks understand that, wow, we have people in Bermuda and we need to nurture that talent.
And also just raising the awareness of the world platform that Bermuda helps out. Sometimes we get so insulated that we forget about what we actually provide to the rest of the world. And when people find that out, it instills pride in them, right? And they want to be a part of this. And just some stats from last year, there were over 250 people that
Wow.
attended each session. We had at least two students who changed their major to concentrate on insurance. So, the ripple effect, the multiplier effect of these sorts of courses, we just don't know what they will do eventually. I wish when I was younger that I had the exposure that people are being granted, and this is free as well, right? So it's not like there's should be a barrier for students. This is offered for free. If you just want to learn about Bermuda and what the insurance industry provides, um, just do it. It just helps. I'm a continuous learner, and I recommend that for everyone else as well because you're surprised at how little you do know.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
on
I
that
do know
point,
that you turned out some great students like Dejanay Edwards Hill, who I know is from St. John's and did the course. But where can those interested learn even more? I know Ms. Simmons kind of put out all the information, but if you can send it out again, that
okay,
would be awesome.
hit up the college's website, www.college, college.bm. Scroll down page on the left-hand side. Like I say, you'll see this good-looking young man pondering the unified theory of the universe. Click on to the Learn More link, and that will take you to a sign-up sheet where you only need to give, basic information, your name, and there will be a list of courses, list of the classes over the 14-week period. Or you can email me directly at C as in crazy, F as in foolish, S as in silly at college.bm.
All righty. All right, we've got a few comments. If you have any questions real quickly, you can send them through. Traveling Trotty says, two of my advisees, enrolled in the course, both sharing it exposed them to many aspects of the industry they were not aware of, with one obtaining employment at the end of the course. We have some good news. I just registered, says Terry K. So we got ourselves another attendee out of this right there. Michelle White says another benefit of attending the course, whether for credit or auditing, is the opportunity to network with CEOs. Nowhere in the world can Mr. and Miss Q public have access face-to-face with CEO company leaders. And Terry K says LinkedIn is the GOAT, greatest of all time. And one last comment, Kiara Sumner says, this is amazing. I was only afforded this type of opportunity once I went overseas to college, but if I would have been able to do this for free while still in Bermuda, I believe it would have jump-started my career faster. I just want to go back to all of that. I remember from a political standpoint, people always saying, Bermudians don't understand how lucky they are to have such incredible access to politicians, but I don't think we understand how lucky we are to have incredible access to people in C-suite positions. I think that's a huge benefit. And as far as LinkedIn and networking, I push LinkedIn more than any social media network on this show, especially. I think it's the most helpful. Even if you don't believe it's helped you as of today, trust me, LinkedIn will take you much further than many other social media platforms. You have got to trust it, and you have to utilize it. And you might meet someone that will tell you about this program one day, because I know we are. Any final thoughts that you want to leave the audience with? Someone who's maybe on the fence right now about signing up for the course. First, Ms. Duffy.
I just wanted to reinforce what you said, Jamel, and you, Sherry, like the benefits of being a part of this course is to introduce you to the industry and to CEOs. And who knows, you might ask a question that impresses somebody and they may follow up with you for you to potentially become a part of their organizations. I did my underwriting training in the United States, and I have to tell you, I was a number in Bermuda because of how small we are, and sometimes that can we can all feel irritated about how small and how gossipy this island can be. But at the same time, the size of our island allows us access to people that if you were in a larger jurisdiction, you would never have access to. Take advantage of all these opportunities. You never know where it's going to take you.
Indeed. Mr. Simmons, anything final thoughts before you go?
Yeah, some people have indicated that, well, Monday it's my card night or something like that. They can't make it because they've got another commitment. Each lecture, each class is recorded and posted to YouTube. So even if you can't make it, sign up. You'll get the link the following day, and you can listen to the class at your leisure.
All righty.
Long and
I
short,
love it.
no excuses.
No
It's
excuses.
2022. No excuses.
Craig Simmons, Bermuda College, Catherine Duffy, ABIR, and AIG, thank you so much for this important conversation. And my hope is that more Bermudians take advantage of this, get those numbers up to 300 this year and above. Thank you so much.
Just want to say thank you to you. I just want to add that today is also National Thank You Day. So I'm going to say thank
Oh,
you, World Thank You Day. So I just want to say thank you to Jamal and Cherry for providing this opportunity for us, Craig and I, to have this conversation, to open the widen the net for people to join us.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank
thank
you. Have a great one.
you.
Talk soon.
Thank you. All righty.
All righty. That was a great show. I appreciate information like that. And I really hope that audience, please share these kind of conversations. Please
Yeah.
share the information. Our community is better off because of conversations. And thank you for Craig Simmons continuously trusting this platform. Shanta, get him his mug. And Miss Catherine Duffy, I hope it's not the last time we see her on this platform, because
Exactly.
I know there's things on this book and in that book that this audience will love to hear more about. So we'll be reaching out to her. We will have her back soon. On that note, folks, you know what I ask at this time? If you appreciated the information in that conversation, give us a thumbs up, a love, a like, and make sure you share that link with someone in one of your chat groups or email. We're going to take a quick break and be back with the Daily Play. And I'm going to give Sherry a hint. It's something to do with this conversation today. Folks, stick by.
A lot happens around your home. That is why at One Communications, we have introduced affordable security and video monitoring, because everyone should be able to afford to protect their family. Anytime, from anywhere, One Home Security keeps you connected and puts security in your hands with the easy-to-use smartphone app to control everything. Home security is important to keep you and your family safe. Motion-activated cameras around your home and security monitoring within create a complete security system providing protection both inside and outside your home. Professional monitoring means that there's someone on call with 24/7 protection to notify the authorities and help keep you and your loved ones safe. We are dedicated to whole home protection with indoor and outdoor cameras, smart door locks, motion sensors, and more, so you'll always be connected to what matters most. With professional installation, no upfront hardware fees, and low monthly rates, because keeping your family safe should be affordable for everyone. Total home video monitoring and security, there's no better way to protect your home than with One Home Security.
All right, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Catherine Duffy and Craig Simmons for this morning's conversation. Thanks again to People's Pharmacy, One Communications, Medical House, and Lindos for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Sherry, are you ready?
Yep. Go ahead.
All right, it's a remember when, so a bit of history. Here we go, folks. Help her out. Help her out. We're going to be very smooth with this. We're going to start the clock right now. In what year was the Bermuda College created?
Oh, God, Jamal. Hold on. I don't know. I am cheating right now, just so you know, but my phone's not bringing it up fast enough. I don't know.
And you know, Sister Sherry, no one knew the answer. We do have one answer that it's a bit off, close, but no. Of course, Traveling Trotty, you must know someone who works there. 1974.
Well,
It was not the
that
90s. It was not the 90s. No. It was
well,
1970.
that was a good
The
year. That was my year.
Oh, that's what happened. The Bermuda College was created by the Parliament of Bermuda through the passage of the Bermuda College Act in 1974. It was a combination of the Bermuda Hotel School and some other stuff, I believe.
Yes.
Bermuda, yeah, I want to say Bermuda Hotel and Catering College that was established in 65, Bermuda Technical Institute 56, and Academic Sixth Form Center. So yeah, that is the answer for today. So we have to give you a letter. So today's letter is going to be U. The letter
Okay.
U as in umbrella. U. That's your letter for today. All right. Any final thoughts on today's show, Sherry?
More research on this whole lottery situation and just more. Let's just not jump into it, and then end up having a whole mess of things. So let's not do that. In regards to the course, I say definitely take it. I'm really thinking about doing that. That is far from what my industry or my career is about, but it sounds very interesting, and I love the word free.
Well, you know what I forgot to ask, Sherry? Is it is it online?
I believe it is from what I saw on the website.
When I read it, I had to read it obviously, but I'm just like, is it going to be in class and online? Or I'll have to look at the website again, folks, because when you're speed reading, it kind of goes past you. Today's episode, I'll say this much: as far as the national lottery, I'm iffy. I need to see where this has worked with a population the size of Bermuda, where it has worked, and what we can learn from those. What are some pros and cons, and how it's going to make sense and not harm us more than it helps us. As far as the conversation, I definitely I love stuff like this, especially when a lot of people, as I mentioned earlier, are a lot of people we know, especially in hospitality, have had opportunities reduced. So this might be an opportunity to not only learn something new, but as Michelle White mentioned, network with key people in the industry. That said, I know you've got some daily inspiration for us, right?
I do. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones who we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek.
Oh, I love that.
Barack Obama.
I love that. I do. Thank you for that, Sherry. And once again, I will probably keep thanking you every day. Thank you so much to everyone who keeps sending the kind words regarding my mom. Like I said, reading it in the paper yesterday, it hit like a ton of bricks. It's hard. It is. I'm not going to lie and tell you any different. It's hard. But you spend time, and I don't know if this is creepy, but going through WhatsApp messages and listening to the voice notes that she sent and laughing. I'll probably play one on air, but it was one from back in September about the show, and she really enjoyed a certain episode. But I'll play it one day. But she, it's I'll tell anyone, regardless of your relationship with your parent or guardian, we only have, two parents by blood, right? And I appreciate and understand that we will all go through this. None of us is here forever, but it's the thing that you realize that the reality is when that hits, it's like what. So thank you to everyone who continues to show love to my sister, myself, and my entire family. And thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Sherry Vanderpool. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, please do make it a great and safe day. Peace. Where's my mug?